Sunday, continuing our series, Living a Country Song, we looked at the message behind Josh Turner's Long Black Train, a song surprisingly perhaps not about heaven, but a song about temptation. Remember these lyrics? Well, I can hear the whistle from a mile away. It sounds so good, but I must stay away. That train is a beauty making everybody stare, but its only destination is the middle of nowhere. 'Cause there's victory in the Lord, I say, victory in the Lord. Cling to the Father in His holy name, and don't go riding on that long black train. And then, of course, the tagline, that devil's driving that long black train. We also read a great passage in Scripture about dealing with temptation. James chapter 1, verses 12 through 16. Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life which the Lord has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then, when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brethren. So we understand from James' letter that temptation is deceptively appealing. Do not be deceived, my beloved brethren. We also read Paul's word of encouragement in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. We did not read the context of that passage. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, Paul recites a litany of instances of God's people in the Old Testament in which the Jews, in essence, played with temptation. They had engaged in sexual immorality with pagan prostitutes. They had engaged in various pagan practices that were appealing to them, that they thought would do no harm. They thought, being descendants of Abraham, that God would let them slide. This is cool. What's the harm? Well, make no mistake, Paul's recitation also included God's judgment in every one of those instances. Hear this from Paul's writings. All these things happened to them as examples, and they were written for our admonition. Do we see that? All those accounts of all the events that happened in the Old Testament where God's people were flirting with temptation, who ended up yielding to temptation and sin, they were receiving judgment from God. And Paul says that these writings are for them in early church days, but also for us as an admonition. They're examples for us to learn from. And then he continues in 1 Corinthians 10 with a direct warning to the Christians of his time at the church in Corinth. Let him who thinks he stands, let me begin that again. Let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. That's a very similar statement, isn't it, to James' warning, do not be deceived? In the song, Long Black Train, Josh Turner's lyrics offer the very same warning. That train is a beauty, making everybody stare. But its only destination is the middle of nowhere. Don't be deceived, my friends. There's victory in the Lord, I say.